Good day, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our second Spatial Innovations second webinar as a part of our webinar series this year for 2024. Following up on our webinar that we had done last month in February, which spoke to the migration from ArcGIS desktop to ArcGIS Pro. We saw it fit to explore the user types that are available, not just in ArcGIS Pro, however, in ArcGIS Online, as well as ArcGIS Enterprise. And as well as exploring those user types, we look at some of the capabilities and extensions that are available to ArcGIS users. So today's topic, is exploring the user types and capabilities of the ArcGIS Online, ArcGIS Pro, ArcGIS, and ArcGIS Enterprise. Now, today, you're joined by myself, Matthew Webster. I am the Vice President of the Geospatial Technologies Business Unit here at Spatial Innovation. And for the FAQs, for the Q&A, I should call it actually, for the question and answers, which will facilitate at the end of the webinar, I'll be supported by Nicola Simpson Lake, who a few of you would have just heard. Senior Geospatial Solutions Specialist. All right. So looking forward to having a great webinar, and let's get started. Now, for any questions you may have, there is a raised hand function, a Q&A feature, and a comment box. we would prefer using the Q&A feature, as it helps us to track what is answered as they come along. However, the option of the comment box is available to you. And if you want to open your mic to ask a question, the raise hand function is there that we can also utilize. All right. So in terms of what we're talking about today, as I mentioned, we'll be looking at the ArcGIS Online, ArcGIS Pro, and ArcGIS Enterprise, which I call the ArcGIS configurations, the different ways you can bring ArcGIS into your organization, how each of those would work, what user types are available, and what are the capabilities of those user types. And we look at applications with each of those configurations, as well as extensions that are available. Some of them are industry specific as well, so it may benefit depending on what industry you serve. We'll also look at the industries that we serve to kind of show you the vast area that ArcGIS is applicable. A few resources that are available to you, and as I had mentioned, a question and answer section at the end, where we'll field any questions that would have come in during the session. All right. So moving forward, starting with the ArcGIS configurations, we have three ArcGIS configurations, three ways that you can bring ArcGIS into your organization. As we look at it, we have ArcGIS Online, which is a complete SaaS platform for your mapping and analysis workflows. So SaaS being software as a service, and as it mentions, it's online in the cloud, and that is one way you can bring that within the entire organization. We also have ArcGIS Pro, which is considered the world's leading desktop GIS software. It's the premier application that you can download to your machine and utilize with your login. Similarly, you would have a login to log into the cloud solution, which is ArcGIS Online. If it is that you have the Pro capability, you can use that login and get into ArcGIS Pro. And it will also, with ArcGIS Pro, you'll have access to ArcGIS Online. So you have the best of, if you want to call it, both worlds. And for if you're looking at the enterprise level, we have ArcGIS Enterprise. Some of you may know it as ArcGIS Portal. That's what we call the foundational system for GIS and mapping. So some organizations want to host their own data on their own servers, and protect their data behind various firewalls. That is when you will start having discussions with our enterprise team, which we would generally work closely with your IT team to get the best configuration set up for you. Now, for each of these configurations, I'm going to speak to each of them specifically. So I'm going to start with ArcGIS Online, move into ArcGIS Pro, and speak a little about ArcGIS Enterprise, and then we move forward. Now, ArcGIS Online, a complete software as a service platform for your mapping and analysis workflows. All right. So software as a service, the world is now, it's not even no longer moving towards cloud. I would say that we are in the cloud space. So ArcGIS Online is a solution that a lot of organizations had started to pick up on, I would say, over the last 2-3 years. Last year, we saw a bit of organizations working with ArcGIS Online. So ArcGIS Online is a secure mapping and spatial analysis software, as a software as a service, as we mentioned. That's a platform that empowers your organization to unlock what we call geospatial insights. It's built on scalable and resilient technology, which allows your organization to collect and manage data, analyze it, and improve decision making by easily sharing maps and apps with your colleagues. It allows for seamless collaboration with the help of a configurable sharing model and a variety of integrated apps and capabilities, which we look at. So benefits with ArcGIS Online include, as you can see, scalable SaaS technology. So it's built on scalable technology to ensure that your data, your maps, and the apps which are available are responsive to changing demands. So as you increase the size of your team, you can bring on more team members. And if you have a small team, if it's a team of one, you can start with one license. So it allows for that scalability within organizations, which in the past would have been challenging. And Esri has responded to those needs. It allows for accelerated adoption and productivity within the team. So it reduces your organization's time to value and system costs with that cloud infrastructure managed by cloud technology experts. So you'll be just working in the cloud, doing your work, focusing on the GIS work itself, while everything is happening in the cloud and ensuring that your data is there and ready to go. The platforms are trusted and secure. They're used by many departments of defense around the world, and a lot of organizations that have sensitive information. It's trusted and secure, and the secure technology is built and delivered with industry-leading security processes and standards to ensure that your data is safe. Seamless collaboration for smarter decisions. As you know, collaboration is big within your organizations, and you need to keep making smart decisions. So with ArcGIS Online, you can enhance your decision making by using a variety of collaboration tools to share whether it is your data, your maps, or your content internally and or externally if you choose to, through what we'd call a configurable sharing model. Connected comprehensive GIS. So you will have different members in your team who can either add maps, who wants to edit work. However, with the connected GIS, you can all work with the same data. So you're always operating on the most up-to-date information. So it being in the cloud, it being scalable where you can have licenses across your organization, the entire team can work with up-to-date data within this space. And as we like to say, it's a very agile solution. It's agile, it's flexible, and it meets the needs of the organization. So if it's just to do simple workflow mapping, that's available. And if you need to do complex data modeling, you can do that all within the same solution. So everything is housed within the ArcGIS platform for your use or for your ease of use. Now, what can you do with ArcGIS Online, right? So you can make maps, you can build your interactive maps, which explain your data and encourage other users to explore. You can also share maps and apps, and you can do that whether with specific groups or with everyone. So if it is that you have a department that's working on a project and you're not ready to share any data, you can have those maps and apps shared with those specific groups within your focused groups. And then when you're ready to share data with everyone, you can choose what data is available for everyone to see. So it allows for that. And you can also integrate the apps that you've built into your own digital presence. So if it is that you want information to go on your website, if you want information to go to your social media posts, or even your blog articles, then ArcGIS Online allows for that integration. So it allows for what we call a more focused and interactive experience. Now, collaboration, very big within organizations. It allows you to work effectively, building and using the maps. The users would receive secure, straightforward access to the data and maps which are needed to do their work. So depending on how whoever is administering the account shares the data, who needs what data to do what work, you can do that. It is also enterprise ready, which we'll talk about, which means that the security and the authentication and the privacy works well for the needs of large organizations. Now, you're collaborating, you're sharing maps, you're sharing apps. You need to analyze that data. You need to understand your data in the context of location. So whatever relationships that you want to reveal, if you want to identify prime locations, if you want to determine what are the optimal routes, or even just analyze patterns or make predictions, adding valuable context to your data by combining it with whatever demographic or data that you may have. It gives you the opportunity to analyze that data for you to make smarter decisions within your organization. And the beauty of ArcGIS Online, it allows you to bring in your own data into that powerful system that enables hosts, and it also scales. So you can add your data without disrupting the maps and apps that you use the data, and you can control who can add or modify the data. And again, working with your existing data. So if it is that you may be using QGIS or any other, maybe if you're using any FOSS open source, you can bring that data into ArcGIS line for ArcGIS Online to have that fully connected GIS approach, and everyone utilizing the data and utilizing the premier GIS platform. Now, bringing ArcGIS into your organization, we have different user types that are available to you, and different capabilities which are also available to you. So these are 4 common user types in ArcGIS Online. The asterisk beside the creator is pretty important. So if it is that you are starting your organization from the ground zero, you must have a foundational user type. All the licenses within ArcGIS Pro are foundational user types. However, within the ArcGIS Online space, the creator is your foundational user type. So every subscription, every organization that you create, it will require at least one foundational user type to activate the subscription and administer members and content. So you must have an administrator that's using your creator user type, right? Of all these 4 licenses shown here, it is the most powerful one. So the creator can build maps and apps, perform the spatial analysis, collect data in the field, and they can also share the story with different stakeholders in what we call ready-to-use apps. They have access to a variety of powerful apps, which I'll show in the 2 upcoming slides. So who we find often using the creator license are people with job titles like GIS specialist, the asset manager, or a data journalist, as we call it. They are normally the ones who use the creator user type. They are the ones that may need to create the maps and apps with their data. They would analyze the data to understand the trends, and they will share the maps with the stakeholders using any of the apps available. Now, we have also the viewer user type. The users of the viewer user type, they are more focused on just viewing maps created by others. So we find that they need to access the organization's private information. However, they are more looking to make informed decisions and monitor performance. So we normally have whether it's an executive officer or a manager or a sales manager. They're just viewing the data and making decisions. So they're able to view the team's maps and apps. They're able to monitor project performance through the dashboards that are set up, and able to use location information to make decisions. So, you're more executive types, people that are pulling together reports and monitoring performance, whether in real time or at different junctures. A viewer license works for them. And that one would be of the four here, the most affordable of the lot. Just that you're just viewing the data. Yeah. Now we have the mobile worker license. This is for, as it mentions, mobile. So whoever is collecting data, managing field assignments, doing any inspection of assets, surveying, and need to share their location, the mobile worker is quite applicable to them. So that is for all your field workers, so to speak. They have access to apps such as ArcGIS Field Maps, which many of you may know, ArcGIS Survey 123, ArcGIS Workforce for real-time data collection. And if you're familiar with what would have been ArcGIS Collector, they would have access to that. So the real-time data collection, tasking and operations works well with the mobile worker app. Now, typical job titles, of people who use that are, whether it's a maintenance foreman, a field technician, or let us say that you are in the non-profit space, or even the environmental space, or whichever space, and you have volunteers that are in the field collecting data. The mobile worker app, the mobile worker user type is perfect for them. It doesn't have the ability to create maps because that's not what their function is, their role is within the setup. The creator does the creation of the maps. However, the mobile worker is in the field collecting your data, right? So they can use the apps for data collection, surveys, inspections. They can integrate the field collected data, and as they're collecting the data in real time, the team in the office can see that data once they have internet connection. If it is that they don't have internet connection, they can still collect data. And once they get onto and a stable internet connection, the data will transfer and upload to the wider platform. However, with the internet connection, you can share those updates in real time. Yeah. Lastly, as it currently holds, we have the editor user type. That one is for now people who are modifying or adding any spatial data to improve the accuracy and currency of the data. So they would review and edit the incoming data to ensure that the quality of the data is good within the system of a record. And as you know, the cleaner your data, the more accurate the data is, the better decisions you will make. So that person is more of an enforcer. So, that would either be a data entry clerk, a GIS technician, or a data quality engineer. But the editor monitors your data and cleans it up, so to speak. As I mentioned, they can add or modify data using the apps. They can review and edit the incoming data, and they can securely view the team's maps and apps as well. And those are the user types and the capabilities of each. So now I'll just walk through. If it is that you get a creator license, for instance, you will have access to some of these familiar apps. All of the instant apps, the dashboards, ArcGIS story maps, experience builder. There's also an integration for Power BI. So you have ArcGIS for Power BI and Adobe Creative Cloud. So as I'd mentioned, ArcGIS is interoperable and it works well with other technologies that are available. So these are what we call the essential apps. You'd have access to that with some of the other license types as well. But one thing I want to point out is this field apps section. The creator has access to all these apps for full guidance. However, your mobile worker will also have access to field apps. The editor and the viewer doesn't have access to field apps, but your mobile worker who is going in the field will have access to all the field apps, which include ArcGIS field maps, Survey 123, Workforce, and Quick Capture. So, whether you want to get surveys done in the field, whether it's just to do some better coordination within the mobile workforce, you have Workforce available. And if you need to quickly capture field observations on the move. So, they'll use that in, let's say that they're monitoring wildlife for animals that are actually moving. Quick capture is a good tool for something like that. So your field apps will have access to that. Your creator has access to everything. So if you're the administrator, you can also go in the field and collect data if you choose to do that on that particular day as well. And you have Office apps, which is ArcGIS for SharePoint, ArcGIS for Office, and ArcGIS for Teams available. And yeah, so that would cover what I would say is the ArcGIS online portion. I'm now going to quickly move to ArcGIS Pro, which is the big bad application, the premier application, and the world's leading desktop GIS software that's available. So as I've mentioned many times, ArcGIS Pro is the world's leading desktop GIS application offering unparalleled tools and capabilities to support your everyday work. Users can maintain spatial data as well as generate stunning 2D, 3D, and 4D visualizations, conducting advanced mapping analytics. So how does ArcGIS Pro work? How does ArcGIS Pro work? So we talk about integrating data from multiple sources. So ArcGIS Pro seamlessly integrates tabular data, drawings, cloud data warehouses, and more to ensure the inclusion of various data sets and formats. Now, to visualize the data, you're able to display data within 2D and 3D, and you can do that simultaneously, as well as you have the ability to manage multiple maps and layouts in a single project-based workflow. So as I said, ArcGIS Pro is that beast if it is that you're really getting into your mapping and your analytics and your work. Now, you can simplify your data editing and analysis with context-sensitive tools. So you can perform interactive 2D and 3D analysis, as well as in the analysis of your data, you have the ability to automate your work, whether you're working with a model builder or Python. And who doesn't want to share their work? With ArcGIS Pro, you have the ability to publish your maps and analysis results as either web services or high quality prints. And you can also share maps on ArcGIS online. So as I had mentioned, if it is that you do get the ArcGIS Pro license, you have access to ArcGIS online as well. So all of the features that I would have spoken to you about in the previous set in ArcGIS Online, you will get with the ArcGIS Pro license, you'll get a creator. It's like a creator version, but at the pro level. So you'll be able to do everything that the creator would have been able to do. So you're able to create your maps and share your work, as we mentioned. You have the ability to share your work in online, enterprise, or as a package. Now, what can you do with ArcGIS Pro? With this ArcGIS Pro tool, what are some things that you can do? So we talk about exploration and visualization. So you can utilize 3D exploratory analysis, investigating your data by interactively creating graphics and editing analysis parameters on the fly. Interactive GIS tools will help you to create analytical objects by clicking on the scene or using input source layouts. And you can manipulate your analysis parameters to receive real-time visual feedback. You have the cartography and design. So you can create your data to meet today's cartographic and design standards. So you can compile your projects in Adobe Illustrator with the new AIX export capability. So you have that ability, and you can take your projects, what we call telling that story even further, more than you would have envisioned, or even as you would have envisioned it in your creative formats. Imagery and remote sensing, that's another capability within ArcGIS Pro. It provides a collection of powerful tools for you to visualize, manage, and analyze large collections of imagery and raster data, whether it's from drones, satellites, LiDAR, and more. And we're seeing an uptick in LiDAR. So imagery and remote sensing is quite a growing field. And with ArcGIS Pro, it makes your work much better and your workflow much easier. Analytics and data science. So using the scientific mapping analytic tools on whether it's 2D, 3D, or even 4D geospatial data, you can use that to identify patterns, make prediction, and answer some questions, using location intelligence, as we like to call it. So you can understand the world around you from what is now a bird's eye view of everything. Data management, which is important to us all. So with the desktop GIS platform, it ensures data integrity with a complete set of tools for storing, editing, and managing various forms of spatial data, including big and real-time data. Because a lot of organizations, getting into big data, and the real-time nature of the data is becoming increasingly important in many organizations as well. We speak about sharing your work. Again, you do all this work, you want everybody to see it. With ArcGIS Pro, you have the ability to author and discover content and digital maps all within ArcGIS Pro. You can discover work that was created within your organization. So you may have multiple people within your organization working on different things. Depending on what is shared with you, you have the ability to see their work as well. And also, you have the ability to see work worldwide if it is that they share it with everyone, as there is a buzzing ArcGIS using user community, and a lot of people around the world like to share their work. So you have the ability to discover some of their work as well. You can seamlessly access cloud-based content, as many of you know about the ArcGIS Living Atlas of the World, and you can also share your work throughout the entire ArcGIS platform. Customization and creation. Now, for those of you who are, you talk about SDKs, ArcGIS Pro has add-ins and configurations which are developed with ArcGIS Pro SDKs for whether it's .NET, you have those SDKs available. You can create and customize your perfect ideal ArcGIS Pro environment. If it is that you want to go to a level of customization for yourself, you have that ability. And in terms of launching new capabilities, we have what they call now voxel layers, VOXEL, if it is that you want to go look it up. But it's a 3D volumetric layer which to help you visualize and analyze, as well as explore complex multidimensional data. So you can manage your 3D and 4D parcel data, run analysis with trace networks, Python notebooks, geodatabase replication workflows, and much more. And you just add your work from ArcGIS Pro to Adobe Illustrator to finalize your design project. So there's a lot of functionality pumped into ArcGIS Pro. And again, with ArcGIS Pro, you do have access to ArcGIS Online as well. All right. Now, with user types, in terms of user types that are available, ArcGIS Pro is licensed at 3 different levels. GIS Professional Basic, so it gives you, a basic feel of ArcGIS Pro, GIS Professional Standard, and GIS Professional Advanced, and that's if you're going really deep with your analytical data. And as I had mentioned, with ArcGIS Pro and the suite of apps, with ArcGIS Pro, you get access to ArcGIS Online and the suite of apps, right? So with GIS Professional, it provides a tool and environment for map creation and interactive visualization. So you're able to combine 3D data, CAD data, imagery, and any other types of data on a single map. And you're able to connect the people and the data with ArcGIS Online, which I have mentioned, and the ArcGIS living atlas of the world. At the standard level, you get pretty much everything in ArcGIS basic, as well as the ability now, data editing capability and the ability to edit multi-user geodatabases. And you now have the ability to automate quality control, such as managing workflows. So GIS professional standards give you the environment for map creation and visualization, multi-user editing, and advanced data management capabilities. Generally, when if somebody is starting from ground zero using ArcGIS Pro, it allows you to scale up. I generally recommend that they start at the basic level, get a feel for things, and then as you graduate, you can move to the standard and the advanced. However, if you have a more GIS specialist within a new organization, maybe you want to start them at the standard level because they would have what we call GIS proficiency. So depending on your GIS proficiency, we generally have a conversation with you just to understand, to determine which of these licenses will be better for you. And not just your proficiency, but also what it is that you need to do. Because maybe a basic license can do what you need to do, or maybe you need standard based on the add-ons that you require, because certain add-ons are not available at the basic level, but start at the standard level, for instance. One of those off the top of my head would be ArcGIS Urban, if it is that you're in urban planning. That's an extension, that's an example, all right? Now, with advanced, you have everything mentioned in standard before, which also includes basic, and this will just give you more advanced GIS data analysis, modeling, and high-end cartography, and extensive data and database management capabilities. Yeah. So that would be the three user types that are available for ArcGIS Pro. Now, the last thing that I want to touch on here, which is a very important point, if it is that you are an existing ArcGIS Online creator user, so if you have a creator user type license, you have the opportunity to add ArcGIS Pro to that. You can buy the ArcGIS Pro extension and add to your creator license if it is that you're an existing creator user. However, if it is that you want to go to ArcGIS Pro and you don't have a license, it would be more affordable for you to just get one of the user types that are on screen now. However, if it is that you're an existing creator user, you can buy ArcGIS Pro to add to that. All right. So just for clarity on that. All right. So these are a few ArcGIS Pro extensions that are available. I know that a lot of people, a lot of organizations, I see them use 3D Analyst, Spatial Analyst. I know Network Analyst is another one that they use quite a bit. Seeing some using Business Analyst as well. You also have Data Interoperability, Data Reviewer, ArcGIS Relative for ArcGIS Pro, Publisher, Workflow Manager, StreetMap Premium. So with your ArcGIS Pro license, there are certain extensions depending on the type of work that you're doing that are available to you. The Esri website lists all of these that you see here, and you can explore, you can go deeper into each of them to see what works for you. In terms of the licenses, some of these extensions may be available with some licenses based on the packages that you buy. And that is something that we can also, depending on what you need, what works for you, we can talk about it and see what's available for you, which license works best for you. And some of them are just definitely add-ons that you would have to purchase separately. All right. And as I had mentioned earlier, there are some industry-specific ArcGIS Pro extensions as well. So if you're in maritime, you have ArcGIS Maritime. We have ArcGIS Aviation Charting, ArcGIS Roads and Highways, Defense Mapping, Bathymetry. So depending on the nature of what you do, these are some of the extensions that are available to you. I'm going to pause for about 20 seconds. Yeah, be right back. All right, thank you everyone for holding that brief moment. Continuing. So now we're going to look at ArcGIS Enterprise. So with ArcGIS Enterprise, you can do more. We talk about the foundation of ArcGIS Enterprise, it being the foundation of what you're doing. If you work with firewalls, if you work with sensitive data, if you want to keep your data on servers, your own hosted servers, or even cloud servers, Microsoft Azure is a platform that a lot of people use for their cloud infrastructure. ArcGIS Enterprise would be for you. Now, with ArcGIS Enterprise, it is the complete software system for all your geospatial needs. So you can make your maps, analyze geospatial data, and share your results to solve problems. Esri's leading GIS mapping software will support your work behind your firewall or in the cloud and deliver results, as I have mentioned. So what can you do with ArcGIS Enterprise? You can run the software securely on-premise or in the cloud, as I would have mentioned. They can leverage your existing database infrastructure that you may already have and configure ArcGIS Enterprise to meet your organization's needs with web apps that are available along with extensions. You have the ability to map and visualize your data and control who you share it with, and analyzing the data using what we say focused applications, from real-time data analysis to deep image analysis. All of these are available to you with ArcGIS Enterprise. Now, in terms of the features of ArcGIS Enterprise, hold on a second. Okay, sorry. All right. Yeah. Oops. Yeah. In terms of the features of ArcGIS Enterprise, we talk about the secure enterprise deployment. So it gives you secure enterprise-ready software that you can trust. You have the ability to integrate with existing identity stores, providing a seamless experience for your users. And you can set up high availability and disaster recovery options to support your mission-critical workflows. ArcGIS Enterprise is automation friendly, whether it's administrative tasks or complex big data analysis. You can automate repetitive tasks, saving you time and effort, right? So efficiency is the name of the game. It allows for scalability. It is completely customizable. That is ArcGIS Enterprise. So you can extend your base functionality with ready-to-go capabilities and applications. When you build your geospatial foundation with ArcGIS Enterprise, you have the power to design your deployment to meet your exact needs. Mapping and visualization. So, you're talking about visualizing your data spatially. You have the access to storytelling tools that make sense of those dots and lines on your data. So, some of us love reading maps. Some of us may not want to read maps. So, you have the ability to tell those stories. Whether it's with a simple web map or a fully customized application, you have the ability to choose how you want to display your data. You can create websites and pages to showcase your data as well. So no need for any coding experience. However, tailored web pages can be built using a drag and drop designer. So you can share your authoritative GIS data and even non-GIS content with other departments in your organization easily, which comes down to that collaboration. We're talking about the ability to control how and when you share. So whether you want to use an internal site to share maps and analysis, or if you want to showcase your data on a public dashboard, you get to share what matters. And you can allow for collaboration, whether with groups within your organization, with individuals within your organization, and also data externally out of the organization. All right. We're talking real-time data and deep image analysis. So again, real-time data, quite applicable to many organizations. ArcGIS Enterprise allows for you to make sense of that big data or those big raster files. With what they call distributed computing, you can get a spatial temporal insight into the Internet of Things and big data. So if you're working with big data, spatial temporal insights are the thing for you. Yeah. Um, we have out of the box storage. It allows you to use the storage options that are available without any additional administration or cost. So when you purchase an enterprise package, you get an entire package and everything is shared with you as to what everything that is available to you, including the storage options. And you have the ability to do your spatial analysis. There are many ways to analyze the data, whether you have tabular data, vector data, or raster data. You can choose from a host of analysis tools that can be accessed, whether it's through your browser, your desktop, or even through the applications that you work with. All right. So looking at some of the extensions which are available with ArcGIS Enterprise. So with ArcGIS Enterprise, you want to do more with your enterprise system. So you can add any of these extensions to your enterprise deployment, and these extensions are built to help you optimize your enterprise deployment, whether you're interested in real-time data and situational awareness, or you just want to tap into the Internet of Things and have that data on your map. You have the ability to analyze big data, process massive amounts of imagery, or even just data science that's available to you. So some of those extensions are ArcGIS Image Server, which processes and examines images of all sizes. We have ArcGIS Mission, which is big in what I'm going to call like our tactical sectors, whether it's defense and mapping, people that are going out in a mission, whether it's firefighters. ArcGIS Mission is a good extension for them. And you have others here, GeoEvent Server, which is more about real-time data, looking at the IoT, looking at what's coming in, getting that data onto your maps so you can have better situational awareness of the real-time streaming data, as well as other extensions which are available to you. Now, in terms of industries that we serve, it's quite a few. So I've listed a few of them on screen. Many of the attendees may be from different sectors listed here. So whether you're in the AEC industry, whether you're a commercial business and you want business insights, ArcGIS works for you as well. Conservation, education, utilities, a sector that uses GIS heavily. Facilities management, locating your assets and managing your facility. Global development, which focuses on the sustainable development goals set out around the world. Health and human services, national governments, natural resources, non-profit and NGOs, which I happen to be the sector lead for here at Spatial Innovation. So if you're operating a non-profit, then you'll be having conversations with myself. Petroleum and oil, public safety, science, state and local government, telecommunications, transportation, and water. So those are some of the industries that we do serve across the entire English-speaking Caribbean as distributors. Regarding resources that are available, so we have these webinars here, and we have a slew of them on our YouTube channel as well, which you can always go back and watch a recording there. For this one and others that have passed, there's Learn ArcGIS, which is available to you. The Esri Academy, which is available to you once you have an active license. You have access to the Esri Academy, which contains a ton of free resources, free courses for you to whether learn ArcGIS or just sharpen up your ArcGIS skills. The Esri Academy is available to you. The Esri website, the best place in terms of any knowledge on the ArcGIS stratosphere, I would say. And you have us here at Spatial as well to support you. And we also do offer instructor-led training at a cost, which we'd have to discuss with our training department. They will work with you to find out where you are on the GIS proficiency ladder and how to deploy training across your organizations. What courses are applicable to the different roles that are available within the ArcGIS ecosystem. And with that said, we're at 10:45, which is perfectly good timing, where I now have the Q&A that I'm opening up. I observed that there were 2 questions already answered. So just for the purpose of everyone, the first question was, will the recording be shared? Yes, it will be shared. It will be uploaded to our YouTube account, as Nicola had shared. And what is the process to add additional user or user types to a team? Very simple. If it is that you have an existing account, you can contact us to find out what user type you require, and we will provide you with the necessary quotation or proposal, and then we'll move forward with, once you agree, we'll move forward with the order process. So you can just reach out to us and we can add, have those additional user types added to your organization at any time. With that said, those were 2 questions that I saw. I'm not seeing any more just yet. So I'll leave the floor open to see. All right. There's a question from Glyn Alain. If there is any special dispensation being offered to groups included in humanitarian work. So to answer you, the answer is yes. Esri has a non-profit organization program, or if it's an NGO that you term it as, there's a program that's available that gives specially discounted rates to approved non-profit organizations. So once you make your application, and you can always, I'll share an email after this, but you could always email me. There's an application form on the Esri website, which you fill in the necessary information. You'll also be required to share your certificate of non-profit, the proof of non-profit. And once that completes the review process, you'll be able to access the rates at that non-profit level. And I will say, that would include licenses, which may cost you even up to $5,000. Generally, you'll get reduced costing to probably less than $200 for those similar licenses, if it is that you're in the NPO sector and you're approved for that. It must be noted that for the ArcGIS Pro licenses and the ArcGIS Online licenses, those are annual licenses. So when you purchase it, it's valid for a year, and then there's a renewal following that year. So that's how the licenses are deployed for those licenses. Within the NPO sector, they generally are annual licenses, and you do have enterprise options as well as what we call enterprise agreement options available within NPO as well. Well, sure. So you can always feel free to reach out to me. So I'm going to share my email address right here in the Q&A, and you can always feel free to reach out to me. Not a problem. That's spatial vision. All right. So, no, all right. So let me go on the other screen, which has the email address, just so everyone can see it while I answer these questions. All right. So Adrian asked, you want a breakdown of the mobile workers? No problem. I will get to you, Adrian, and yeah, I'll get to you on that one. So we'll be in conversation, Adrian. Not a problem. I'll make a note of that. For Delia Fletcher, what about the GeoJ entities? If you want additional users or extensions, what is the procedure? Okay, for the GeoJ entities, you would firstly have to have a conversation with the National Spatial Data Management Branch to let them know what you're interested in. Now, based on the existing enterprise agreement, they may have the licenses and may have access to the licenses and extensions that you are interested in. Now, if it is that they don't have it available and are interested in getting that, they can then reach out to us and we can handle that. But I would say your first point of contact would be the National Spatial Data Management Branch. They are responsible for the GOJ license agreement. So I hope that helps. Sure, no problem, Delia. Thank you for the question. Thank you for joining as well. Thanks. All right, appreciate that, Glenn. Right. So as I shared my email with you, Glenn, you can send me an email there to the same one that's on screen as well. And we can continue the conversation around the work that you're doing as it falls within my particular sector. So while I look for any more questions, Nicola, just opening the floor to you just to see if you have any comments or any remarks before we potentially close off.
Hi, morning again. No comments, Matthew. That was a good presentation, but no, I don't have any additional.
All right, cool. Thanks, Nicola. I see a message just directed to you from Lisa K. Lewis. Just take a note of that, okay? Well, a request, I should say.
Yes, thank you.
All right, cool, no problem. All right, thanks, Lisa K. All right. So I'll leave the floor open for another minute. And then should it be undisturbed, then I will that. Call this. Yes, we're quite amazed as well, Aline. We're quite amazed as well. Real-time situational awareness, it does help a lot of workflows. We can agree. Especially if you're in what I will call like time sensitive, industries and sectors. It definitely does help. Whether it's whether you're a firefighter, whether you're in the defense, you're a police or a soldier, real-time situational awareness is quite handy. Yeah. That is correct. Yeah, quite handy in disaster management. Very, and that's a prime sector for us. In the disaster management space, we have what is called the Caribbean Geoportal, which I guess we could speak about when we do connect. But that is, if you want to call it like a disaster management hub, which contains quite a bit of resources and allows for us to deploy resources if necessary in the event of disasters as well. A very useful tool. That's the Caribbean Geoportal. All right, thank you, Glenn. Appreciate that. We'll check it out. We'll check out the BayesianFirefighters.org as well. So with that said, I'm going to afford you an additional 5 minutes within the hour, so you can catch up back to your day. We really appreciate everyone that joined us this morning. We do hope that you found the session informative. And as you know, or as you should be aware, we are doing a migration from what is formerly like ArcMap to ArcPro. So many organizations may still be using ArcMap as their desktop platform. There's an active migration to ArcGIS Pro. So it would be good to learn about ArcGIS Pro if you're still utilizing ArcMap. And always feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions about the migration or any questions about ArcGIS Online, Pro, or Enterprise. Feel free to reach out to us and we will answer your queries and assist where possible. And do note that with any license that you have, once it's an active license, you do have access to world-class technical support. That's something that we've also invested in. And you have the ability to touch base with them via phone, via email, or even via mobile app. So you have that technical support resource available to you as well. With that said, do enjoy the rest of your Wednesday as well as the rest of your week. Thank you for turning out and looking forward to seeing you next month at the next Spatial Innovation webinar. All right, stay safe, everyone. Thank you.